Hello. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, what's up? So I really want to talk about just life. Not specifically just life, like so broadly, but specifically for my spiritualists, for those of us that understand that life is a journey and shit like that. So what I was thinking about this morning is the idea of comparison, because a lot of times as humans we find ourselves looking to others, looking to those higher up on the totem pole. Actually, I just want to correct myself, because culturally that reference, that saying is backwards, because technically the lower you go down on the totem pole, the more prestigious you are, but I digress. We tend to look at others who are better off than us, or farther along in their journey, and we compare, and this usually makes us feel kind of I can't even find the words, undetermined, non-determined, the opposite of determined when it comes to our own goals. But you can't do that. Like, for maximum success, you can't really look at somebody else's blueprint and use that for your own. Like, you can look at it for inspiration, but ultimately we all have different skills, we all have different talents, we all have different abilities, and what worked for somebody else may not work for you, and what worked for you may not work for somebody else. So really, when it comes to success, quote unquote success, you really have to first, you have to define what success even means to you personally, and then you have to figure out how you can best utilize your own skills and talents. And I feel like I always get into this mode of imposter syndrome, where I feel like I haven't done anything, but then I have to remind myself of all the shit that I have done and be proud of that. Like, the fact that I technically, I haven't been getting clients lately, but the fact that I have a business where I help people and I inspire people, and people genuinely come back and ask for advice and shit, does that look like a non-success to you? And it's not even about proving it to anyone, it's just about recognizing it, because once again we get into this mode of imposter syndrome where we feel like we're not really as good as we are. And this can apply to anyone, even if you're working at a McDonald's or whatever. Look at your life objectively. Please don't think that you haven't done it. Being able to get a job, being able to be employed is a lot. And I'm not employed currently, but as somebody who has struggled to find a job, it is a lot, and it is a great achievement to secure employment. Even though we shouldn't be striving to be working for someone else, but that's a philosophy video for another time. Speaking of success, I should be working on my website. I have been very diligently working on this site for the past couple weeks, and I say diligently, but at the same time, if I could fucking speak, one aspect of this website is shadow work, and I've been compiling a list of questions and whatnot. And one of the questions that I came up with was, how are you being too hard on yourself, and how are you being too lenient on yourself? And I jokingly I tweeted it seriously, but then I jokingly responded to it and was like, I'm too hard on myself in the sense that I don't work hard enough, but then I'm too lenient on myself because I don't work hard enough. And I thought it was funny. Nobody really interacted, but I thought it was funny. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but also that is another good thing to talk about. Knowing your own worth, separate from how other people see you. And when I say that, I mean, if you tell a joke like I just did, and you're the only person who laughs, okay, that's still a win. At least somebody found it funny, and that somebody was the person who told it, because we have a habit of feeling or at least I've noticed that we want others to agree with us, we want others to be on the same page as us, when this isn't necessary at all. because everyone has a different perspective, and even if a whole bunch of people agree on something, it doesn't necessarily make it so. Like, if a whole bunch of people laugh at a joke that's really offensive, that doesn't make the joke any less offensive, that doesn't make the joke any more funny. You know, like, well, you know, humor is subjective technically, but what I mean is that, like, that doesn't negate the fact that the joke could be problematic. That doesn't negate the fact that the joke is insensitive. But, you know, if it is all about perspective, then you kind of have to go into the mode of like, okay, then who cares? Then if everyone thought it was funny, why does it matter? Well, it matters because you should probably think about the things that you're saying, consuming, like, not to say that it's necessary, but, you know, conscious existence. It is a lot of work, but it does have a nice payoff. Like, being aware of your actions and how they affect others and how they affect you, very, very useful skill. I will say it's a lot, but it's useful. I'm literally on the website maker, and I was just like looking at the page. Like, do you ever do that? Do you ever just like go on a page and you're just scrolling? Like, you know you should be going into it and doing work, but then instead you're just scrolling. Like, that's me. Like, literally. I want to make a social aspect of this site, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that because of the layout of the creator. I could probably add like a plugin or something, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you what I have on here already, because this isn't a public thing yet. It's published, but I'm not allowing anybody really to see it. Like, I sent the link to like 2 or 3 people, but 2 people, and yeah, I have like fully what is ready. Like, if you were to see this page and it was ready, or no, the phrasing, if you were to look at this, my website, you would be able to see my poetry book. You would be able to see my about page, the home page, obviously, and then also the AfroQueerGod page. And I had a joke that I wanted to tweet, but I really didn't want to share because, you know, it is kind of serious. The joke was, why did no one ever tell us, or why did no one ever tell me how hard it is to build an empire? I thought it was funny, and even if nobody else thought it was funny, I thought it was funny. But once again, it is kind of serious, and I feel like some people would definitely read it as such and be like, oh. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking, but I definitely feel like some people would be kind of jealous and kind of envious, because that's the thing. Like I said, like, people love to compare and contrast, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, because you see this like almost every day. I haven't done this every single day, but you guys see me and how I think and how I talk, but you don't know what's going on when I'm off camera. You don't see like the struggles or whatever. So it's like, don't fall into that cycle of comparison and contrasting, because it doesn't help anyone. If anything, it does the opposite of help. So be wary of that, you know. I'm gonna take a hit. So if you're a stoner, take a hit. Or if you aren't a stoner, just fucking take a deep breath, ground yourself, center yourself, and epic fail. I had a whole nother lighter and I don't know what happened to it. This one is kind of running out. Like, not really, but it is. I don't know. Also could be because it's getting cold, and I have left it outside I left it outside once and it got really cold. Also, yes, this is a makeshift bomb. Yes. I recently had to upgrade, or not upgrade, but like replace, because after a while it gets kind of gross, and this is kind of getting gross. So I should probably make another one, but also I shouldn't really be smoking. According to myself, I kept telling myself, I kept promising myself that I was gonna stop, and I did not. Thankfully, I'm in a place where financially it is not such a burden, because that essentially is the reason why I wanted to stop, because it was such a financial burden, if I can get my words out. and because like I was spending like every fucking day, and that wasn't healthy. And so I had to really work on my self-control and shit like that. And I feel like I'm at a better place. And also I had to think the other day, I was like, I'm glad I don't have like a surplus of money right now, because I feel like I definitely would have acquired some sort of really bad addiction that could not be stopped, because the only reason why I was stopping this was because financial reasons. So imagine if I just had like bank, you know. I don't want to imagine that. I mean, eventually I will, but right now I'm, you know. I think one thing that really helped me was this tweet. I feel like I'm always referencing some tweet, but please don't believe that I get all my information from Twitter. It's just like, I follow a lot of spiritualists and a lot of philosophy people, so I do a lot of times get a lot of heavy information from people's tweets. But they were talking about, it was like this dialogue, and they were talking about how weed can be addictive, but it can also be a very powerful thing if you set the right intentions. And so whenever I do smoke, I do try to set the intention of grounding, and sometimes I do set the opposite intention of like ascending, but yeah. But also I have generally just been grounding more in general, like outside of smoking, because I feel like I haven't been very balanced in my actions and my thoughts, so, or I hadn't previous past tense. Also this, I realize my posture is really bad right now, and also the incense is smoking directly towards me. I feel like, I'm not even gonna share, but definitely there's something. Okay, is there anything else we could talk about? I don't know. I appreciate you if you got this far. I appreciate you if you're still watching for whatever reason. And you will see me again. I don't know when. Most likely, I mean, soon, but maybe in a different style. I don't know. We'll see. I wanted to do a tarot video, but I don't have the energy for that. I really don't. Like, I just did like a whole ass zodiac thing, and that shit wiped me out. Like, I've done readings after that, but every time I tried, it got interrupted. So now I'm kind of at the place where I'm just done. I'm just upset. I'm just done. So I don't know. If you do also follow me for card readings, I don't know. You can request personal readings. Also, I haven't been putting my email address in the description, but if you want to see me, if you want me to talk about something specifically, if you have like some sort of thing you need advice with or whatever, definitely send that in. Send it into, I mean, I might forget to put it in the description, I'm not gonna lie, but it's sendskypics@gmail.com. That's exactly how it sounds. Sendskypics, Pics @gmail.com. And just send it in. Make sure you put your name at least, or like whatever you want me to refer to you as, and what your question is, what your query is, and I'm gonna holla at you. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much. Stay awesome. You are loved, you are wonderful, and you are blessed.